Hello everyone, welcome to week 3 ITA511. I promised one thing last week and I'm not going to deliver it. I'm pulling a little bit of bait and switch. We were going to talk about liquor entries, intoxicating liquors this week, and I decided to switch. And I'll tell you why we're doing this. We're going to be doing what's called excise taxes. And excise taxes are on goods that, very small number of goods. Actually, you probably want to come across this in 2 different types of goods, and we're going to do these goods today. We'll have you do a B3. These are excise taxes, and that, as you know, if you look at the B3, we have a field for excise taxes. Field 34 is ET, Excise Tax Rate, and Field 40 is the excise tax. What we're going to talk about, the reason why I'm switching is we're going to do excise taxes first. And when we start talking about liquor and tobacco entries next week, we are going to be talking about excise duties. Not excise taxes, excise duties. It's a different term. And you'll notice this says excise tax. It doesn't say excise duty. So in order to do the alcohol entries, I'm going to need to do the excise tax entries first so that we use the excise tax fields and we'll understand why we don't use them when we talk about excise duties. So anyways, forget about the excise duties. Let's talk about excise taxes. So excise taxes are imposed by the Excise Tax Act. They're charged on fuel efficient automobiles and vehicles. It could be a truck, could be a bus, but it's fuel inefficient automobile. Automobile air conditioners. So that's an air conditioner that's installed in an automobile when it's manufactured, and certain petroleum products. Now, when goods are made in Canada, excise tax is payable when the goods are delivered to the buyer. So when a car manufacturer, an automobile manufacturer manufactures a car and they have an air conditioner in it, they charge excise tax when it's sold to the consumer. And then they in turn turn around and give that excise tax to the government. When these goods are imported, the excise tax is payable by the importer at the time the goods were imported through the B3. And that's what we're going to do this week. So excise tax used to be quite prevalent. As a matter of fact, it was quite a headache when you're a customs broker, but these rates I'm going to talk about on this screen are no longer in effect, but I wanted to kind of give you a bit of perspective of how infrequent excise tax is used. So items that used to attract excise taxes. Jewelry used to be charged 10% excise tax. So any type of costume or real jewelry had a 10% excise tax attached to it. Clocks and watches was a 10% excise tax or on the value greater than $50. As well, all articles that were made of ivory, jet, amber, coral, mother of pearl, and other semi-precious stones were charged 10% as well. So it could be jewelry, it could be other adornments, could be utensils, instruments that are made of these particular items. They were charged excise tax, but these are no longer in effect. This is just for interest's sake only. So these particular jewelry, clocks, and precious, semi-precious stones don't attract excise tax anymore. So excise tax amounts on fuel inefficient vehicles, you see a schedule, and I put it on Blackboard for you. Automotive air conditioners are $100 Canadian per auto with factory installed air conditioner. So you have a shipment of 5 cars and all 5 cars have factory installed air conditioners, then it is $500. $100 times 5 cars, you have to pay $500 excise tax on that shipment. The other thing that attracts excise tax is certain petroleum products that are imported. And I put down here, see schedule. There's a link through Blackboard to the schedule, but don't worry about that because we're not going to handle certain petroleum. The only type of entries you'll probably see in real life are fuel inefficient vehicles and automobile air conditioners. So, excise tax is a specific tax as opposed to ad valorem when we apply it to automobiles. So ad valorem tax is a percentage of the value, okay, whereas specific tax is a set amount on the quantity. So like I told you, an automotive air conditioner is $100 per car. If you got an importation of 5 cars that all have factory installed air conditioners, it's $500 excise tax. Okay, so goods and services tax is also paid on the excise tax. So we have to add the excise tax to the value for tax. So you know, we have the value for duty, we have the duty, we have to add the value for duty and the duty together to get the value for tax, because we pay GST on the value of the good plus the duty. Well, when we have the value for duty and then the duty and then the excise tax calculated, in order to complete to come up with the value for tax, we have to add up the value for duty, the duty, and the excise tax. And I'll show you that on a B3. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a shipment. Let me just find it here. Here we go. And we're going to have this particular shipment, and you're going to do a B3 for it. Everything you need is on here for everything regarding doing the entry. I made the transaction number correct. Some of you spanked me the last time because I had the wrong number of digits on the transaction number. Not to worry. So there's a few things that we need to know. So we've got a shipment here of 2 different types of automobiles. This is a rail shipment, okay? It is not a truck shipment. You need a railway car to handle 58 automobiles. So we've got 2 different types of automobiles. We've got a Chevrolet Corvette ZR1 AS8 transmission. The reason why I'm being very specific is we have to know whether that's a fuel inefficient automobile or not. And we also have another automobile, a Ford Mustang Bullitt with air conditioner. Okay, so we got the release date. We've got a CUSMA certificate on file. That means the goods qualified for the Canada-US Mexico agreement, which replaced NAFTA. That means the goods are from the USA. That means the goods are tariff treatment 10. 10 is no longer NAFTA. 10 is CUSMA from the United States. Okay, you've got the cargo control number, transaction number, the freight charge, the exchange rate, and the 2 parties are related. So the first automobile, the Chevrolet Corvette, does not have air conditioners. You say, well, this one says it does, but this one doesn't say anything. If it doesn't say it has air conditioner, it doesn't have an air conditioner. So we don't have to worry about the excise tax on air conditioners on the Chevrolet Corvette. But we need to find out if this is a fuel inefficient automobile. So you have a link on Blackboard right here on ITA511. It's right down here. It says list of automobiles that attract excise tax when imported. So we click on that and we scroll down the list. Okay, and you'll notice these are separated by different makes. These are all the models underneath the bold here. So let's go back to we got a Chevrolet Corvette ZR1 AS8. So we got Cadillac, we got Chevrolet. So we scroll down here, we got Corvette. So you got Corvette ZR1, and we scroll across. There's two ZR ones, so which one do we have? We have the one that says AS8. So that's this one, Chevrolet Corvette AS8. And you'll notice it is considered a fuel inefficient automobile because in this column that says fuel inefficient vehicle tax, it says $2,000. So that means for every one of these cars, this is a very expensive car, and they're very fuel inefficient because it has a high performance engine. So the car gets an excise tax of $2,000. So that means when we do the B3, the excise tax on this car is going to be $2,000. This car here, the Ford Mustang, is not a fuel inefficient car. We can scroll down here and we look up Ford. Bear with me here. And we look up Mustang. There's Mustang Bullet, and you'll see it says 0 charge for fuel inefficiency. It is a fuel efficient car, so we don't have to worry about that, but it has air conditioners, so it is going to be charged $100 excise tax. So let me just go to the B3 and just kind of give you a little bit of an idea. So you'll notice it says here excise tax rate. So for the cars that have air conditioners, you will put down the specific duty rate, and that's simply $100. It's $100 per car. So how do we know what the excise tax is? Well, we have to put down the quantity. When you go into the customs tariff for these HS items, HS numbers, you will notice that there is a unit of measure involved. So let's say there's 100 cars. Well, let's make the math a little bit easier for my brain this morning. Let's say there's 5 cars. Well, it's $100 excise tax times 5 cars, therefore, or the excise tax rate, or $100 per car. There's 5 cars, therefore the excise tax is $500. If the excise tax rate is $1,000 because they're fuel inefficient cars, and we've got 20 cars, you will multiply the excise tax rate of 1,000 for 20 cars. That means the excise tax is $20,000. Now, when you do the GST, you have to add together the value for duty, the customs duties, the excise tax together to get the value for tax. Okay, so the value for tax, field 41, is field 40, field 38, and field 37 added together. And then we multiply the 5% times the value for tax to get the GST, because we have to pay GST on the excise tax as well. Okay, when you finish the B3, you have a separate line here for field 49. We've never filled that out before. Field 49 is field 40s added together. So you'll add together the first line's field 40 to the second line's field 40. And you'll put the answer under excise tax, which is $20,500 in this particular case. These numbers, by the way, are not as per this entry. These are just examples. Just examples. Okay. So let's say the car is worth $10,000 and the value for duty is $13,000. The customs duties are 0 because they're going to be under the Canada-US-Mexico agreement. So the value for tax is $37,000 plus 0 plus $20,000. So the value for tax is $33,000, and then the GST is 5% of the $33,000. Okay. So that's how you're going to do that particular B3. The B3 is due on Sunday night, next Sunday night, which is September the 4th, I believe. I'll put the numbers down on the screen. If you have any questions, you let me know. And all these links are up. And we hope to see you next week, where we're starting to do some B3s for alcohol importations. Bye.